So a brief introduction about myself. I am Sreeram Kolisetty. I am the CIO for the KnowledgeHut, and my qualifications are like I am an SPCT. Those of you who are not aware, uh, that is one of the uh, bigger designations or the qualifications considered almost like a PhD in Agile frameworks. So that's where my expertise comes into the picture, and I lead the entire practice for KnowledgeHut on the transformations. Okay, so first of all, let's try to understand a key framework to digital transformation. So each word is a heavyweight in this entire statement. So let's look at what is a digital transformation first. Okay, so when we talk about the digital transformation, two things come into it's very simple. So there are a lot of definitions which are given. If you just Google what is digital transformation, you'll get plenty of definitions. But in simple words, using digital technologies, that means you might be using a calculator, you might be using a computer, you might be using any electronic device, okay, that will enable your future for business. So we all noticed how we bought the groceries when we were children, right? So 15 years back, 20 years back, what used to happen? So we used to carry the bags, go to the market, pay in cash, or maybe credit card, get the groceries to the home. Today, what do? Open your iPhone or Android phone, click off a button, you get the groceries, right? So we have seen a huge change in 15 years of time. And if you go back in time, when I was a kid, so I'm definitely old. When I was a kid, like 6-year-old, 7-year-old, I used to go to my grandparents' home. So it's a small village. So what used to happen is that people were not even bringing the cash. Credit card was not even a thing that we could imagine, right? So people used to come with whatever they have at their home. So they will bring, somebody will bring one kind of pulse, the other person will bring one kind of vegetable and come to my granddad and they say, hey, can you take this and give me rice? Can you take this, give me a dal? Can you take this and give me some other vegetable? So it was more like a barter system, right? So my granddad was doing that. So he takes something and gives something else. It was not entirely the cash. So the way we are doing the businesses have been changing from time to time. And why is it changing? Because we are seeing a lot of change in the technology, lot of change in the way the behaviors of the customers, right? So if you are looking at this diagram on the right hand side, you see the uh, number of calculations that we can do per second per $1,000. In 1920s, we're doing just one calculation per second for $1,000. Come 2020, right? 100 years, we are doing almost 10 billion transactions, 100 billion transactions per second per thousand. That is a power equivalent to the brain of a mouse. Thankfully, no computer has reached the power of human brain so far for $1,000. So we are still ahead. But as you can see, from 60s, 70s, 60s, and 80s, and 2000s, computing power has increased. So when the computing power has increased in leaps and bounds, what happens is that your ability to calculate and your ability to look at how the things are is going to be completely different, right? So the future of the business, as defined by Mike Walsh, is completely changing. So you are no longer going to do the business. Instead, you are going to provide a platform. That's it. So if you look at in our world, in today's world, how many factories Amazon has? How many? How much of farmland Amazon has? Nothing, zero, right? But they sell everything on Earth. They sell everything on Earth. A small pin to an aeroplane, right? So your businesses are moving from just being a business to a platform, right? And today, if you want to buy an insurance, you go to the online and then buy an insurance. And if you want to order food, you go to online. So Zomato's and your Swiggy's don't own any restaurants, right? But what they are doing? They are doing plenty of business. So we are moving from traditional business to the platforms, traditional business to the platforms. And then, as I just described, it was a transaction based completely, right? So I give something and then I get my groceries or I get whatever I want. So today that's not going to work. Today people are going to look for the experience. So why do you go to Zomato or why do you go to Swiggy or any other application, Uber or Ola? Because the kind of experience that you are going to get is totally different from application to application, store to store. So people who are looking for experiences rather than just looking at anything as a transaction. So this is the second biggest paradigm that is going to happen in the future. And third one is data to insights, right? So you might have noticed, so if you go out of your office or something, there is a small store. Probably you buy a cigarette and you buy a tea or coffee from them, and after 3 or 4 days, you go there. He knows, yeah, this guy has come for this. He buys this kind of brand and he buys this coffee or tea, right? So how are they able to do it? Data. So from data, it's going to be insights. Here is one example I want to tell you. So today's organizations are so much aware of you that before you buy something, I'm not saying this for fun. Before you buy something, they know what you are going to buy in the next 2 to 3 days. Next 1 month, what you are going to buy. Next 1 year, what are you going to buy? Companies are really clear about your behaviors and how you are, what are your buying patterns, what you are spending and how you are spending, everything. They're really, really clear of everything, right? So when the future of the business is changing, you can't keep your traditional model, whatever it is, whatever you are doing. So you have to keep up with the business. Can my granddad run his store in a city like Bangalore the same way he did? He'll say, no, sir, I don't accept credit card. No, sir, I don't accept cash. Okay, bring some material to take another material. No way, right? So the landscape of the business is completely changing. And when the landscape of the business is changing, your organization also needs to change, which is very, 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 very important, right? So, and today's organizations are not like a small store or a small a shop where you have limited number of customers, maybe 50, 100, 150, 200 customers. So some stores are really happy if they have 200 loyal customers, right? But in today's world, you need customers who can be long lasting and repeatedly coming to it. So that's what exactly happens with iPhone, right? So every year there is a new one. And I know the people who buy a new phone every year. So that means they have a loyal customers. So they will never go away. And I've seen like many iPhone users, as soon as there's a new model in the market, they just hit it, right? So that's the kind of loyalty you want to build and look at how exactly your customers are behaving and understand. So it is important for your entire organization to understand, and especially the leadership, what is your business model? What is your business model? So this slide is may not the small text may not be clear for you guys here, but this is something you will be able to download from strategizer.com website. Your senior leadership, at least the senior leadership, should be aware of what is our business model canvas is going to look like. Okay, who are our key partners, right? So who are the key partners? What do they do? Key activities, what exactly we are doing, and what are the value propositions that we want to give, right? And what are our customer relationships? What are our customer segments? What are the key resources? What are the channels? Cost structure, revenue streams. So there are several elements that your leadership and you should understand on how your business model is going to work. Okay, so if you take insurance company, who are your key partners? If you take your bank, who are your key partners? You might be in the banking, you might be in the finance, you might be in the telecom, you might be in the transportation business, you might be in the entertainment business. This business model canvas is going to completely change based on what business you are in, right? So, and when you are preparing this business model, you should keep these things in the mind. Am I developing, or are we developing the platform, or just looking at the business? Are we talking about the experiences, or just being the transactional? So the reason why we say from transactions to experience is that in the transactions there is no emotion, right? So you are just, okay, you give me this and I'll give you that, period. In the experience there, you are attaching the emotional intelligence, emotional part to your customers. And if you are not cognizant of the emotions of your customer and ignorant of the emotions of the customer, they are not coming back to you, right? And insights is very, very important to understand your need in advance. To understand your need in advance and ensure it. So it's more like a presidential security, or maybe your spouse who is understands what you are going through and how you are doing, and then change his or her behavior accordingly to make sure that you are always happy, right? So these are the three things that you have to keep in mind before you create your business model canvas. Okay. Now we are talking about, we are saying that with the digital transformation, I'm making my business future ready, right? What exactly it means. So now my granddad's store was a small store. Now I want to expand on it, right? And I want to make it a global giant. What will I do? I have to invest on transformation. I cannot tell that, okay, hey guys, I don't accept credit cards. I have to accept the credit card, right? And I want to provide an app, and I want to provide home delivery service in 15 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever it may. So it takes a lot of things for me to transform my granddad's old business to a completely new business. That is where we talk about 5 things. This is the extract from the Harvard Business Review. Everybody has their own way of doing the things, but essence is the same, right? So look at the people. So who are the people we are talking about? First one is the consumers, your customers, and second one is your employees, and third one is your clients, right? So 3 people. So I will take Amazon as an example again. Consumers are everybody. Employees are the people who are working on the particular platform, and clients are those who are providing the supplies to Amazon, right? There are thousands of millions of suppliers to Amazon, and Amazon is just providing the platform. And next one is the data. So how I am consuming, how a customer is behaving, how a client is behaving, how an employee is behaving. So from the data, you are going to bring your insights. That is, you are going to get interpretations that will help to make a certain decision. Okay? And then action. So what behaviors, decisions are going to impact how your consumer behaves, how your client behaves, how your employee behaves, right? And then finally, all this will result into the ROI, return on investment. So some of you might be surprised. This happened in 2016 or 2013. I don't recall the year exactly. So Target is a store in United States. They use so much of data analytics, and they can predict what a customer is going to buy in the next 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. And based on that, they're going to send you the flyers and the mailers saying, okay, hey, buy this. It comes under a discount, right? So they continuously see my buying patterns, and they can predict, okay, Sreeram is going to be diabetic, or Sreeram is going to be a hypertension candidate. And they'll send the offers for buying the stuff that will keep me in control. So it so happened that they sent baby product coupons to a 16-year-old girl. So this is a real story, guys. So you can Google that and find out. So sending a baby products flyers to a 16-year-old girl is a crime in the United States because it can push thinking in the girl saying that, okay, hey, I want to have the babies, right? So girl's dad looks at those things and goes to the Target store and starts yelling at the manager, saying that, okay, hey, you are not supposed to do this. You are instigating the thought process in my daughter that she should become pregnant. And then store manager does not know what is happening and he apologizes and tells the dad that, okay, hey, I'm sorry, sir, I'm going to take it to my corporate, right? And there is also a law in the United States which says that if this product is relevant to you at that point of time, then it's not a crime. So apparently, that 16-year-old girl was pregnant. So Target was looking at purchasing patterns on the girl, and they predicted that the 16-year-old girl is pregnant. And after 2 days, dad calls the store and tells that my apologies, my daughter is pregnant at this point of time. So that is the kind of insights people are having. So the companies like Amazon, Facebook, and many companies which are into the modern ways of developing the tools and technologies, they are completely aware of what you are doing. So if you think that I'm simply giving my email ID, you are mistaken, guys, because it so happens that in every part of the world, they offer something free for you. If something is free, you are the product. Remember that. So they know what you are spending, what you are doing, how you are doing, and they can clearly predict. And at some point, without your knowledge, you'll be able to, you'll be purchasing some things without your knowledge. So that's very, very important to have in today's world. So it's kind of not a put to the store, rather push from the stores. I can confidently say that. So what exactly I mean by the pull from the store to the push from the store, right? So again, I'll go back to 20 years. So I go to the market once in a week because once in a week my groceries are done, my vegetables are done. I'll go and buy. It's full, so I am going. And today it is pushed. Whether you need it or not, you go and just click on the Amazon Prime button. I see that pattern in my own home, right? So every second day, third day, there will be some purchase that will be done, and God knows whether I am using it or not. Most of the times, right? So that's the kind of tendency our nations have, and it's a race. It's not because that they want to do it. It's a race. So there is a pressure from the profits, and world needs are changing. Technology is changing. So what happens? You are racing against many competitors. If you don't do it, somebody else will do it. As simple as that, right? So, so these are the 5 essential components of digital transformation. So think about the people. So people aspects are important. Emotional parts of the people are important. Data. How do you manage the data? Insights, action. So how do you build your people, your process, your culture? And then how do you do things in a completely new way? So these are some things which every organization needs to adapt, every organization needs to embrace in order to make themselves successful. Okay, so now this sounds good. How do we get there? How do we get there, right? So that's where we talk about 3 things. One is the design thinking, second one is the lean startup, and third one is the agile way of doing the things. So we have 3 things: design thinking, lean startup, agile diagram. So let's talk about the design thinking first. Okay. So in design thinking, what we say is that identify the customer's problem as fast as you can. Okay. Most of you might have heard about this story. Thomas Alva Edison took almost 1,000 attempts before he invented the bulb. So that means 999 times he failed, right? Now let's talk about this scenario. So you go to your boss and tell your boss, okay, hey boss, I'm going to fail 999 times before I become successful. What will happen to you? They'll simply kick you out. Sorry, sir, we don't want anybody to fail. We want you to be successful on the first time. But let's be honest. If all of us are successful in the very first attempt, will the world be like this? No. The world would be a completely different place. So there are more products that have failed than successful products in the market. So that's the reality. Okay. And if you want to look at any company's data, you can find Apple has a lot of failed products compared to successful products. Google has a lot of failed products before compared to successful products. So there is a website called Death by Google. So if you go to Killed by Google, Killed by Google. So there are hundreds of products that Google has killed. They created and killed. They created and killed. That means they are investing. But what is success? What makes you successful is failing faster, right? You start, sorry, you start building something, and you quickly realize that this is not going to work, and quickly kill it, or pivot from that, or change the direction. And if you can't do it, then you fail. So that's where your design thinking will help. So it won't guarantee that you are going to do the things right for the first time, but it won't let you fall like 999 times. Thomas Alva Edison would have been fired in today's world. They'll say, Mr. Edison, get lost, right? So you want to fail faster with less investment. That is the key. That's what your design thinking is going to help you with. And you are not doing it in a silo. So you are doing it with the data from the market. You are doing it from the insights that you get from the data. And you use your creative brain and hypothesize and empathize with your customer. Yeah, customers are facing this problem, man. So let's do this, right? That's how you apply design thinking. So you are able to pinpoint it and say, this is what customer is looking for. Now we know what customer is looking for, right? Yeah, let's deliver it in 6 months, man. We know exactly what customer wants. Is the customer going to wait for 6 months? No way. What you need to do is that you need to deliver it as soon as you can. That's where your lean and agile will come into the picture. So you need lean thinking and as well as the agile thinking, agile ways of doing the things in order to deliver solution faster. So what lean will do is that it will allow you to deliver something with least amount of wastage, the least amount of wastage. And agile will help you to deliver faster. So now you have something, you are identifying your customer need very quickly, and then you are developing it without much wastage, and you are delivering it faster, right? So these three components are very, very, very important for any organization. Understand customer need faster, develop it without any wastage, and then deliver faster. So once you are able to do all these three steps in one go, that's where the beauty is. That's where the beauty is. So if you look at in modern organizations, today's organizations, be it a software development company, insurance company, telecom company, education company, all you need to do is that your customer, your organization should understand these questions, and every employee of the organization should know where exactly we are. And again, senior leadership in particular should be aware of what is happening here. What is the vision of the organization? Where exactly we are heading, right? What is the line of business we are in? Okay, future trends in the market, important customer problem. What is the important customer problem? How to quickly deliver the solution, right? So I have a problem and you are delivering the solution. How to quickly deliver the solution? How to quickly learn from the market? Yeah, we delivered the solution, but they didn't like it. So I want to really quickly turn it around, right? So what to measure from the markets? How do I know whatever I have provided, whatever the solution I have given is working better, right? How do we measure our current processes? Yeah, is it working? Whatever we are doing, we don't know, right? But the future is going to change. 20 years down the line, how we do the business is going to certainly change. When it is changing, am I changing or not, right? What framework to use? So can I use traditional waterfall model? Absolutely not. Can I use something that can work for 100 years? Is there anything that works for next 100 years? No. You need something that changes with the time, right? Your framework also should change. Your methodology also should change. Okay. And what popular framework has the highest guidance? I want to embrace something where I have good amount of support. So that is where your scaled agile framework comes into the picture. Okay, so SAFe is a framework which combines design thinking, as you can see, and it has the agile product delivery, which is faster, and as well as the lean processes in several places, lean agile mindset. So it gives a complete guidance on how you can embark on a digital transformation journey for your organization. So I see a lot of people's icon here on this particular framework. There are people here. It starts with the enterprise executives and all the way to the developers. So everybody has a role. Everybody is playing their role. Everybody is contributing to the cause of the organization. So you are able to use design thinking concepts faster, design thinking concepts, and able to deliver faster, and able to use a lot of principles, practices which have been used in the market. So, and beauty about this particular framework is that this framework is evolving and will continue to evolve in the future, because uh, future is changing. So in last 10 years, this framework has changed like 6 times at least in the last 11 years. So, and this is going to change time and again and again, because future is also changing. And now, why I am recommending SAFe framework? So my company is very small, sir. We have only 30, 40 people in our company. So if you have only 30, 40 people, don't even think about it. But you want to be there at 30, 40 people, your organization is going to be there as a 30, 40 people company forever. No, you are going to grow big. You are going to become 100,000. That's where the money is, right? So you want to grow bigger. When you are growing bigger, when you want to get bigger, you need the framework that can help you to configure your organization based on how your organization structure is changing. So that's where SAFe also provides with the essential configuration, large solution configuration, portfolio configuration. Trust me, guys, Tesla, SpaceX is also using this framework to build their space missions. All right. And another pharma company which produces just 2 medicines is also using this framework at the essential level. So this framework is industry agnostic, and this framework is like it's not going to push you to embrace to a particular thing. It just allows you to create a new working model and new culture in your organization. And there is a lot of support for this framework, which will help you to embrace and then transform your organization and start getting better results faster. So it's not me who is speaking, the industry is speaking. So there is this research that happens, called as the state of agile. So you can just Google it, state of agile. So 37% of the companies that moved from waterfall to agile have embraced scaled agile framework. The nearest competitor is 9%, and then they have 6, 5, 3, blah, blah, blah. So if you look at a couple of years back, this was like 27%. I remember really well in 2018 or 2019, it was at 29%, and then it is taking leaps and bounds because the other frameworks are static. They don't change with the time. Only scaled agile framework does change with the time. So if you are with the framework which is changing with the time, and that is always future ready. So and there is a big community, as I mentioned, right? So not everybody can teach SAFe per se. So there are only 60 or 70 people across the globe who are really qualified to teach and implement this framework. So I'm one among them. KnowledgeHut is one company which is among them. So we are here to help the organizations to become future ready, right? And we are already helping several organizations which are becoming future ready, which want to be future ready, and they are multi-billion-dollar companies. So if you are looking for something, and if you are, don't worry, even if your organization is not ready for the transformation, if you are a senior person, please understand the framework. There will be some things that you can use in your existing context itself. You really don't have to go and explore and be master in it at the current situation. So all we need to do is that we are not overhauling your business. We are changing the way you are operating your business. That's the key to understand. when we talk about the digital transformation. How we change the way we are doing the things. Once you change the way you are doing the things, you'll be successful and you make money. All right. Your organization might be outsourcing company, offshoring company, or yeah, we have a customer. Yeah, then please add value to your customer. So for the same amount of money that you are getting, if you can give more value, your customers are going to be retained. And I want to give examples of a couple of banks where they said, no, we don't want delivery heads. We don't want POCs. If you are contributing directly to the program, be here. Otherwise, get out, right? And those who have embraced lean agile mindset, I mean, I'm not just saying embrace SAFe, lean agile mindset, they were successful. So one big company financial company lost a big client, and within no time, within a week, they lost their 15% of their revenue. And they were able to cope up because they were able to embrace lean agile mindset, and they were able to use the framework that will help them to sustain, right? That is the key. So what is that KnowledgeHut can offer? What is that we can do? So these are our accelerators. So you might want you want to change your organization and you want to make it better. We are the only company across the globe with all the capabilities. So we develop the people, we develop the processes, we develop the new methodologies, provide the trainings on design thinking and everything. So there are our competitors. They can do only a portion of the job, and whereas the KnowledgeHut is something that we can do everything. And there is something called the set model. That is our proprietary, prepared by one of our experts, which proved to be successful. And anything that is successful, sometimes some organizations try to buy it, and a few organizations are already asking us to give that. So this is our proprietary model where we accelerate the transformations. So if other organizations take 2 years, 3 years to implement, probably we can do it in 2/3 of the time. I'm not saying 1/3 of the time, 2/3 of the time. So you are still saving big money. Not only that, return on investment is going to be faster by usually large transformations take about 2 to 3 years, and we will be able to complete it in like 18 months to 2 years, depending upon how your organization is going to work on. And we are the only true global company where our coaches are available in-house and they're available across the globe. If you are a global company, you can always look for it. And we are building some SAFe assets. And as I say SAFe asset, some of the explanations are not clear. So Scaled Agile will expect you to go and then read some more material. Not only Scaled Agile, any lean agile framework that we talked about, Scrum at Scale and other stuff, they are going to look for other material to be read. So we are preparing simple assets. Who has the time to read a book in today's world, right? And all we like is like 30-second, 1 minute TikTok videos, or if message is not conveyed within 1 minute, if I'm not grabbing your attention, boom, you are gone. You are no longer my customer. So that is the reason things like TikTok and everything became successful. So they grab attention for 30 seconds, 1 minute, right? So that's what we are building here. Some assets that can, quick bites that can give you more insights and more information about how the framework works, and how you are able to, how you can leverage some of our assets. So these are some of the knowledge accelerators that will help you in your transformation journey and which can take you to the next step. All right. So that's the summary I wanted to give. If you want to learn more about the framework and then be future ready, a lot of webinars keep happening from KnowledgeHut. Feel free to attend anytime and register them. Okay.
Sreeram, there's a question from Shravan Raghunath, and he says, with the number of roles that SAFe prescribes, how does it simplify the adoption?
Good question, very good question. So, as I mentioned, if your organization is only 30-40 people, don't even think about the Scaled Agile framework. So once you cross your organization crosses 50 people, then only the Scaled Agile is going to make sense. If your organization is going to be like 50 plus, right, then there are people who are performing different roles, right? So if I am just sharpening a pencil, I'm using a machine. What do you call it? I call it as a sharpener. So I need only two things, right? So one plastic mat, piece, and then a blade. Should I use a big factory to make it? No. But if I am manufacturing an iPhone, number of components in the iPhone are really high, right? So depending upon demography, geography, and the size of your organization, you will introduce those new roles. There is no doubt about it. And what Scaled Agile does is that kind of reorganizes your roles for effective communication and effective delivery of the solution. That's it. So every person, I mean, if you take a big mission, which is manufacturing maybe an iPhone or a car, so the factory itself or the mission that is producing the car itself will have multiple parts, and each part has to perform its own job. Even if a small screw falls off from from that mission, the whole mission does not work, right? So that synchronization is important, and each small part of the engine or each part of the mission should work effectively. Then only you are successful as an organization. Same thing applies in the Scaled Agile framework also. As you grow, we introduce more roles, and each person each role will hand off something to the other role, and you are synchronizing and able to deliver the solutions. That's essential. That's required. If you say no, yeah, I want to maintain same structure as previously, it's not going to work.
Shravan says, thanks, Sreeram.
Thank you.
So we have two more questions, Sreeram. One is from Atul Bavaskar, and he asks, what is Hikari Agile Model?
What is it?
What is Hikari Agile Model? Hikari.
Hikari Agile Model. I haven't heard of that. Sorry, Abdul.
Okay. Venkatesh Kumar has a question. He asks, do you help in Agile certification also?
Yes, we do. We do. So it's a role-based certifications we recommend. You have plenty of money you want to spend on certifications. I highly recommend don't do it because there are certification bodies available which are willing to take the money from you. All you need to do is understand your role and understand what certification is right for you. Okay. I want to take this example. I was working with a investment bank, New York-based investment bank. That bank is right opposite to the World Trade Center. The head of Agile competency there is a woman from Middle East. She has 0 certifications on Agile, but she is master in Agile. I've seen that. So your certification is not an indication. I am not suggesting that don't do any certifications, but you can do certifications, but don't spend too much money on those certifications. Your Agile mindset is more important. And what certification is good for you, something our team can help.
Venkatesh says, thank you. Sriram, one question from Vignesh Sivakumar. He asks, there is a big rush for getting certified across different domains and technologies. It only makes sense to marry certifications in such way that knowledge complements them. How to choose the most relevant certification with regards to Agile that we can opt for?
Yeah. So as you have seen, the world is going towards the Scaled Agile. In the Scaled Agile, there are role-based certifications. So depending upon your role, if you are a product owner, where you want to go next, right? So you just don't want to be a product owner forever. You want to be more like a product manager, solution manager, and then a design thinking specialist offering solutions. So there is a path. And you are purely a technology guy. Learn basic skills of lean and agile. That will help you to deliver the solutions faster, and then master the technology that you are in. But embrace agile ways of building the solutions. So your agile architecture is different from the traditional architecture. Your agile testing is different from your traditional testing. Your agile development is different from the traditional development. So there are some practices like called the test-driven development, behavior-driven development. and domain-driven design. We call it as DDD. So your architecture, the way you are architecting the solution is going to change. The way you are developing this architecture is going to change. The way you are testing your development is going to change completely. And it is changing, in fact. So if you are a manual tester, forget the job. Nobody is going to give you a job for a manual tester. There are very few available. Now, maybe 1 or 2% of the tester jobs are manual testing jobs. Most of them are automation. And if you think that you are thumping your chest, I am an automation tester, forget about it. There is robotic automation process, right? So that is coming up. You got to be future ready. So technology, if you are a technology person, understand what's happening in the technology landscape and change it, and understand the lean agile processes that will help you to be relevant in the market all the time. Okay, and we can help you identify which certification you need. Sushil?
There's also okay, great. We have quite a few questions.
Keep going.
Yes. So Faisal Sadullah asks, is there a consultation session or assistance from KH to identify which certification would be suitable based on my role, as sometimes I'm a bit confused with so many certification programs?
Yeah, we can certainly help you. Set up some time, reach out to Sushil Bhagia. They'll be able to connect you to one of our experts, and they can get you.
There's one another question is from Vijay Kumar. As I am certified Scrum Master, PSM1, how is it going to help me with SAFe than Scrum?
Okay, so certification is the only indication of knowledge. That's what I would say, right? So it's not your indication of your understanding and your ability to use the knowledge. So if I give a Java book to anybody, everybody can read the book. Who can read English, they can read. And all of us have the knowledge now. Do we have the understanding? No, unless we go and practice, right? So PSM, CSM, SAFe Scrum Master, or any other Scrum Master certification is not going to be really helpful unless you are able to go and practically implement it. Limitations with other frameworks, again, no disrespect for other frameworks, and no disrespect for other certifications. Every certification body is doing very good job when it comes to providing the knowledge, right? Including SAFe. You will not be able to visualize at scale how things are happening, right? A small organization don't want to be a small organization forever. They want to be bigger organization. And if you are a Scrum Master today, you want to retire as Scrum Master? No, you want to become bigger. You want to become Chief Scrum Master. You want to become Lean Agile Coach. So that is your career path, right? And SAFe is the only framework that helps with two things. Scaling, it's a master, as we have just seen. 37% of the companies have embraced SAFe. That's number one. And number two, SAFe is the only framework that changes with the time. Because times are changing, you need to change. So your certification of SAFe, if you do it today, PSM, they'll say, yeah, lifetime validity. Is there anything called lifetime validity, guys? Is my baby going to stay the same, good-looking baby forever? No. Baby will grow into adult and that will become old man, and then at some point they die, right? So same framework cannot be used forever. So PSM certification cannot be used forever. And the Java that I learned 21 years back or 25 years back is totally different from what I see today. So you need to sharpen your skills. You need to upgrade your skills. So Scaled Agile is one certification that provides, let's say you have done SSM, SAFe Scrum Master in version 4. That is no longer valid today. Scaled Agile expects you to learn more about SAFe 5. But beauty is that they give for free. First attempt they allow you to do for free, and you can upgrade as long as you are paying the annual fee. So they come up with again, and they kind of force you to be relevant in the market. So that's where the advantage distinction of SAFe comes to the picture compared to the other frameworks, other certifications. And KnowledgeHut will do a free webinars and support people who have taken the courses from us to be to recertify them for the future. So every time there is a new version, what we do is that we do like few webinars for our past students, only for the past students. You can come and listen to those things, go back and take the exam, and you are ready for the next version of SAFe. So that's what we do. That's the help we do compared to the other organizations. And that comes at no cost for you. So you are almost like lifetime ready. I can say that. Yeah. Go ahead, Sukhil. Next one.
All right. So, Vijay, I hope Sreeram has covered all the points. And for the previous question, Faisal says, thank you very much. Shekhar has a question. How is it important for an operations team in an organization to learn agile principles?
Read the question one more time. Sorry, Sushil. Your voice
How
was
is it? Sure. How is it important for an operations team in an agile organization to learn agile principles?
absolutely important, because I am able to develop the things faster and I'm able to deliver faster. But if my operations cannot keep up to the pace, then what happens? So you know one thing, anytime there is a new car, new model car, who are the people who get trained first? Mechanics. Mechanics get trained first, because if there is a problem, they need to understand. And mechanics sometimes give the feedback. So same thing, when there is a transformation when there is a transformation with Agile, we make sure that operations team understand. We call it as lean operations. That means your operations team should be able to turn it out faster. So recently I had an experience with an airline. I don't want to take the name of the airline. I bought the ticket, a return ticket from Bangalore to some other place. We go to the airport, and then flight gets cancelled. I mean, it annoys you if your flight gets cancelled, because the flight was at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I was south side of Bangalore, and then I had to go to north side of Bangalore. So I got up at 4 o'clock and then went to the airport. That's natural. Like, maybe 2%, 3% of the flights do get cancelled, and I had to come back. I came back. Point that pissed me off is that, they said I need to send an email for a refund, and I was already pissed off, and I said, okay, yeah, why should I send an email to get my refund? If flight gets cancelled, automatically you need to refund the money, right? And I won't get refund. I send the email, I send 5 emails, 5 reminders, nobody responds. I put a social media post, nobody responds. Tagging that company, nobody responds. It took 2 months for me. I visited office 2 times. The reason why I'm telling this story is that what happens is that, will I ever go back to the airline again? Never, right? I won't. So if your operations team is not efficient, your customers are not going to come back. Your operations teams also must be agile to make sure that you are supporting your teams, right? So your HR teams, finance teams, operation teams, facilities teams, they are also going to be agile. And in fact, there is agile for HR, agile for marketing, and agile for finance. These agile for hardware, these things are coming up, and Scaled Agile is preparing them. And we are, I'm one of the contributors to the agile for HR in this company. So your operations must become agile. And if your operations leadership does not understand that, we are happy to provide 4 hours of consulting for free. We'll be happy to give them the input required. Okay, next one, Sushil. Sushil?
Yeah, sorry, Shira, my mic was mute. So the next question is from Gangadhar Reddy. He asks, as most organizations are moving towards DevOps model, is SAFe Agile going to have future growth aspects? Also, concepts and certificate for the product owner to be successful in career. Also, what are the concepts and certificates for the product owner to be successful in this career?
Sure. So DevOps is a component of this SAFe framework. So Lean Agile and DevOps go hand in hand. So if there is, you cannot implement DevOps without Lean Agile, and you cannot just have Lean Agile without DevOps. So if you want to make a family, you need wife and husband. As simple as that, in my opinion. So Lean Agile should have DevOps. Lean Agile and DevOps go hand in hand. So that answers your question, I believe. So they are inseparable, guys. We can say, yeah, we are Lean and Agile, but our DevOps is not good. No, you cannot have it. Our DevOps is pretty good, but we are not Lean Agile. That also cannot happen. So both go hand in hand. That's number one. So if you are a product owner, so there are you can become the product manager. That's where we talk about the design thinking concepts. From product management, you can become the solution management, and you can become the epic owners, like owning the whole initiative across an organization. So that will be your career path as a product owner if you want to continue your journey. And you don't need to do a lot of certifications. Improve your skills on design thinking, and do the advanced product management, where you will be able to effectively produce better results for your organization. So that's what I would say. Sushil?
Gangadhar, I hope we were able to answer your question. Sreeram, there's Shravan who has a question. I have a follow-up of the previous one. Most of our organizations run into 1,000 plus employees, but the team could range from 20 to 40 to few hundreds. If the organization decides to adopt SAFe, how would it work? Do we customize the approach according to each project teams? But then wouldn't the maturity be different?
Sure. So if you have teams of 20 to 40, 20 to 100, you are each team, let's say 20-member team or 40-member team or 80, 100, whatever be the team size, I can envision each of them are developing a component or a portion of your entire application suite. So if I take the example of a bank, so let's take a simple example of a bank. I want to open a new account. So what happens? I go to the bank. I'll give my address proof. I'll give my CIBIL report or credit card report or whatever it may be, my Aadhaar card or social security number, and clerk opens the account and gives it to me, right? But is it as simple as it looks? No, right? So they are taking my data, they are feeding into the system, so that system is supporting, and that system is validating my data, yes, and they are taking the money, so they are putting the money in some place, maybe initial deposit of $100 or 10,000 rupees, whatever it may be, the currency, right? Several systems are working, but for the front, on the front end part, only me and the clerk, right? So here also I can imagine that there are these 20 people, 40 people member teams are working on small systems. So this end-to-end solution is what we call as a value stream. So what we do is that we'll identify the value stream. We'll do something called the value stream identification. So once you do the value stream identification, your team might get restructured a bit. And every organization will have multiple value streams. So in simple words, a value stream is where your customer interfaces, and from where you are drawing your dollars or rupees, whatever it may be the currency, right? So that first point of contact is your trigger. From trigger to what steps do you take before you get your profit, or before you realize your dollar value? That's what is your value stream. So what we'll do is that we'll identify the value stream, and every company will have multiple value streams. We'll start with one value stream, assess where that value stream is looking at this point of time, and then go to the next value stream, then go to the next value stream. That's how we do the transformation. And it's never a good idea to overhaul the entire system and hey, we'll inject SAFe to everybody and then we'll call ourselves SAFe. Some companies say that yeah, we can do it, but I don't recommend. Seeing is believing, right? So you want to start small, and if you don't like it, go back. Absolutely fine. But if you overhaul it completely and then your organization is completely looking different, you can't go back and you can't live with the existing one. You don't want to end up in that situation. So unless top leadership has 100% commitment, no, we want to go SAFe, no other way. completely, and all the leadership is completely aligned. We will never recommend a big whole transformation in one go. Go with one step at a time. And you see the results, understand the pain points, who are supporting the journey, then you go to the next one. Okay, Sushil?
Excellent. So other than these, there are no more questions, Sriram. However, Vijay Kumar, Shekhar, Gangadhar, and they say thank you, thank you, thanks a lot. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you again. That's what Shravan says. So
Sure.
we don't have any more questions, Sriram, unless you want to add something else or.
No, first of all, before we wind up, I want to apologize for the delayed start for 10 minutes on behalf of KnowledgeHut, myself, Sushil and Bhagya. I truly appreciate those who stayed for the entire duration, and feel free to reach out to our team members if you need any help and support. Happy to set up some time and help you guys out.
Absolutely. In fact, Sriram, I would like to thank you actually for such a brilliant session, and also a big thank you to all our attendees who made the time and joined the session today. We will be doing more such interesting sessions in the future as well. So yes, please stay tuned with us, and we'll hopefully see you soon for the next one. Wish you a very good afternoon, and thank you. Thank you, Sriram.
Thank you, Sushil.
Thank you, everyone.